The initial descent into what a man interprets as love is rarely a conscious choice. It's a gradual envelopment, a quiet surrender to a sensation so potent it feels like discovering a fundamental law of the universe. It begins in the smallest of details, the specific way her eyes linger on you in a crowded room, not just with attraction, but with a sense of discovery. As if she's uniquely decoded something in you that the world has overlooked. It's in the texture of her promises, whispered not as hopeful platitudes, but as absolute, unshakable certainties. She doesn't just say she'll stay. She'll frames it as an inevitable fact of nature, as sure as the sunrise. In these moments, you are not merely being complimented, you are being validated on a cellular level. This validation taps into the deepest, most archaic wiring of the masculine spirit, the drive to be the provider, the protector, the unwavering constant. Her devotion feels like the ultimate reward for that inherent design. The final piece of a puzzle you've been trying to solve your entire life. You aren't just believing her words. You are investing your entire identity in the reality they seem to create, a reality built on the bedrock of permanence and mutual, unbreakable loyalty. This is the bait. And it is utterly irresistible because it aligns so perfectly with what a man is built to give and yearns to receive. It feels less like a new relationship and more like a homecoming, a seamless fusion of two separate truths into one unassailable future. The world outside this bubble fades into irrelevance because within it you have found your anchor, your purpose, and your forever, all reflected back at you in her eyes. The contract feels signed, sealed, and delivered by the universe itself. This foundational misunderstanding is the core of the impending heartbreak, and it stems from a profound difference in the very architecture of affection. When a man says, "I love you," he is often making a declarative statement about his position in the world. It is a vow that is consciously tied to action, duty, and a future tense commitment. For him, the emotion is the catalyst, but the love itself is the structure built upon it, a structure made of loyalty, reliability, and the conscious choice to stand firm regardless of passing storms. He hears his own words as a pledge, a signing of a contract written in stone, and he assumes her identical words carry the same weight, the same architectural permanence. But her utterance, while no less sincere in the moment, often operates on a different frequency. It is more experiential, a powerful and authentic report from the epicenter of her present emotional state. It is the euphoric cry of someone feeling love, intensely and completely, right now. The catastrophic error is one of translation. He hears a promise of future action, while she is expressing a profound present reality. Her love is a magnificent weather, system intense, all-encompassing, and utterly real while it lasts. But weather, by its very nature, is transient. It changes. It moves on. He, however, has mistaken the hurricane for the landscape itself. He has built his home on the vibrant, life-giving soil of the rain, not considering that the rain might stop and the soil might dry. She is not being deceptive. She's being emotionally truthful in a way that is foreign to his operational mindset. He is speaking the language of architecture and blueprints, while she is speaking the language of meteorology. Both are valid, both are real, but they are not the same. And the failure to recognize this distinct lexicon sets the stage for the inevitable collapse. He is waiting for the building to be finished, while she is simply describing the beauty of the sunset that is illuminating the construction site. The unraveling is a quiet, chilling process. It's not a single explosive event, but a death by 1,000 paper cuts. The warmth that once felt like a permanent climate slowly leaches away, leaving a confusing and desolate cold. You notice the subtle shifts first. Her eyes no longer seek you out in a room, but slide past you. The phone becomes a more compelling companion than your conversation, and the effortless laughter that once filled your shared space is replaced by a heavy, unfamiliar silence. The promises that once felt like unbreakable vows now hang in the air, their weight suddenly feeling hollow, like relics from a forgotten civilization. You scramble to understand, to diagnose the problem, to fix whatever has broken. You replay your actions, searching for the misstep, the failure that caused this seismic shift. But your attempts to logic your way back into her good graces are met with a baffling resistance. This is because you are speaking the wrong language. You are trying to repair the architecture, the beams and pillars of commitment and history, while she has simply stopped feeling the weather that made the building beautiful. She is leaving a feeling, not a structure. Cruelest cut is the seeming ease with which she moves on, the capacity to transfer the same intense words and affectionate gestures to another man as if the history you shared was merely a rehearsal. This is not a sign of a calculated deceit in the past, but a testament to the power of her present emotional truth. The woman who cried genuine tears while swearing you were her entire world was utterly sincere in that moment. The woman who now packs her things or changes her relationship status is equally sincere in this new, colder emotional reality. Her truth has simply evolved, leaving you a ghost, haunting the ruins of a palace built on a foundation she never recognized. Not just losing her. You are witnessing the complete and total annihilation of a future you were certain existed. Forced to accept that the cornerstone of your reality was, for her, just a temporary feeling. The contract you thought was binding was written in water, and the tide has come in. The aftermath is a special kind of agony, a phantom limb pain for a piece of your soul you believed was permanent. It feels like a chemical withdrawal because, neurologically, that is precisely what it is. Your brain became addicted to the dopamine. Hits of her validation, the oxytocin glow of her affection, the serotonin certainty of your shared future. When that supply is abruptly cut off, your entire system goes into a state of shock and desperate craving. You are not just mourning the person. You are a builder standing in the rain, staring at the rubble of the cathedral you dedicated years to constructing, wondering how something so solid could dissolve into mist. Your identity, which had become intricately woven with the role of being her man, is now stripped bare, leaving a raw, undefined void. This pain manifests as a frantic, illogical energy. You beg, you plead, you engage in grand gesture warfare, trying to bomb her back into a feeling with the sheer force of your memory and logic. You recite past promises like sacred texts, believing if you can just make her remember the weather, you can force the sun to come out. But it is a futile exercise. You are trying to use a map to navigate a terrain that no longer exists. Emotional reality has shifted, and to her, your appeals to the past feel like being asked to re-inhabit a skin she has already shed. The love she offered was conditional on the continuous presence of a specific emotional state, and that condition is no longer being met. The brutal, grounding truth you must eventually absorb is that you outsourced your stability. You built your house on her fault line. You allowed her affection to become the sole source of your value, the mirror in which you saw your entire worth reflected. Her departure, therefore, doesn't just feel like a rejection. It feels like an erasure of your very self. The lesson carved into you with this searing pain is that a woman's love must be a magnificent addition to a life that is already complete and stable on its own terms. It can be the beautiful art on the walls, but it can never be the foundation. The foundation must be built by you alone, out of materials no one can take away: your purpose, your integrity, your self-respect. To make her love your cornerstone is to build on sand and guarantee your own destruction. The ultimate awakening is not the death of love, but its rebirth in a truer, more resilient form. It is the conscious decision to stop building on the shifting sands of another's emotions and to instead pour an unshakable foundation of your own making. This is not a retreat into cynicism or a vow of isolation. It is the profound understanding that the only permanence you can ever truly rely on is the one you cultivate within yourself. Your mission becomes your compass, your values become your bedrock, and your self-respect becomes the non-negotiable boundary that protects your peace. This internal fortress is not built to keep love out, but to ensure that when it enters, it does so as an honored guest, not as an occupying force that holds the deed to your soul. A woman's love is then recontextualized from the very oxygen you breathe to a beautiful, enriching atmosphere you can freely choose to inhabit and enjoy for as long as it remains life-giving. You can appreciate its warmth without becoming dependent on its heat for survival. You can hear the words, "I love you," for their beautiful, temporary, sincere gift offered in the present moment. Without mistaking them for a lifetime warranty on your happiness, this is the transformation that leads to genuine freedom. You are no longer a hostage to her moods or a beggar for her validation. You engage from a place of strength and wholeness. In this quiet, unshakable sovereignty is the most attractive quality you can possibly possess. It ironically makes you a better partner, not a colder one. Because you offer love from a place of abundance, not desperate need. You become the anchor in your own life, and in doing so, you break the cycle of devastation. Her love may come, and it may go like the tide. But you remain steadfast and complete, because your worth was never stored in her heart to begin with. It was always right here, in the fortress you built yourself.